You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seemingly Instagram live with Nick Pagliochini, who joins me in studio.
Hello.
With a huge charcuterie board.
Yes.
Alcohol.
But not.
What?
Yes. And Tawala Sharp just came in as well. So as Mo just said, you can join us on Instagram, Nick Pagliochini. But it's not alcohol. Good to be here.
You lied to me.
I did, but it's radio, and so I'm doing some things a little bit different. So you're used to seeing me here on Fridays with what's going on in and around the Southland. I still got that for you, but we're going to change it up a little bit because I want to give you a little bit more. We're going to take things a little deeper than we usually do. And so if you're familiar with me here with KFI, and I don't hide very many things. We don't hide things here on Later with Mo Kelly. We are very, very transparent. So I've been sober since 2017, and we've talked about a lot of things here on Later. And so this past weekend, and when I was here giving you things to do for the holiday season in and around the Southland, I checked out Unique World, which is the new iteration of Unique LA in downtown LA. And I met an incredible couple, Jeff and Elizabeth, there, who have an epic bottle shop over in Mar Vista, which is called Dry Kitten. If you're joining us on Instagram Live, you can see a setup of the charcuterie that I brought from Whole Foods across the way, but also some really fun non-alcoholic options for you. So I want to give you ideas of things you can do that are spirited without the spirits for the holiday season, for you to get out there and party. Because the thing that caught my attention when I met them is that they said have a great night and an even better morning, so that you're not going to have the hangover. And so I'm going to make you a cocktail and kind of talk you through this as I'm making it. But I know that your drink of choice, as I made you a beverage when we got together this weekend, Mo,
yes,
is whiskey.
Yes.
So I have a fantastic thing for you to try, and it is going to be not that one because that is fresh. So that is going to be more like a gin. I have Smoky, which is going to emulate from Optimus Botanicals distilled non-alcoholic spirit. And so I'm going to have you smell it, and you can kind of give a description of what it smells like to those who cannot smell it. Smell-o-vision. I mean, I literally just take the lid off and you can smell it. How smoky it smells. Yeah,
that's a good description. It smells smoky. It is clear, so I'm not like seeing a caramel coloring to it.
Correct. But it has every characteristic of it. And I'm going to give you a little hit of it. It's very, very smoky to taste. And so you're going to, it's not liquid smoke.
Am I going to throw my panties on the stage?
You might. It might be a little Tom Jones moment. We're not going to lie here, but I'm going to make
unusual.
But I want to make you a cocktail real quick of that.
Okay.
And all of this is to say, there's so much you can do around Southern California anymore that isn't just about alcohol. You can do so much that is about spirited activities that have to do with what are called, we all talked, and you talked about it already earlier tonight, about having THC involved in beverages.
Correct.
And having CBD involved. So there's, things that are made with hemp that don't have anything to do with things that'll get you turned. Quote unquote.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that you can have. But they also have things that are called adaptogens that have mushrooms involved, that are things that are really good for you, that have nothing to do with, yes. That have nothing. Right. Well, we can do psilocybin. That's a whole nother thing. And that is for between 10 and 6.
We're drug ignorant.
Yes. So, it's okay. And that's for, after 10 and before 6 a.m. when you're doing the radio thing. So anyway, let me make you a cocktail right now. But this is something that's really different and special. Also, I've got some different palomas and things for you to try out for things that are really unique and special for you to try.
You went to Pomona?
No, Paloma.
This is amazing, too, because this entire setup that you have here, all of this is non-alcoholic.
Right. Hand that back to me, Mo, if you don't mind. So I can make you a cocktail.
So we can really take this to the head.
You can definitely take this to the head, and because we're on the radio, so I'm going to take a quick
Instagram Live.
On Instagram Live, Nick Pagliochini. Take a hit of that, just a light, gentle hit.
Okay.
So it's going to be real strong, and I'm going to give you a mixer because it's going to be real intense.
Yeah, it's strong.
It's real strong. So now let me give you something to mix it with. And it'll give you a whole different, that's real strong.
Yeah, it's real strong.
It's not something you're going to want to sit there. No, you can sip on it if you wanted.
But does it give you that flavor, that feeling that...
It will. And
I would want it mixed with something.
Right, okay. Which I'm going to give you ginger beer. And I'm going to make you I'm going to give you a little twist of lime here. I know. I'm making a full cocktail thing.
All right, gonna swirl
Now
it
we'll
around.
swirl it around. And for Tawala, I'm going to make you.
Oh no, see that's good.
It's good, right?
In those proportions.
Yeah. It's really good. So what I'm going
I wouldn't drink it neat or straight up.
No, of course not. It's very, very strong that way. And I'm going to do a margarita for you, Tawala.
Okay.
So this is a chili margarita. Now, a lot of people love the White Claw movement. Super nice, super easy. This is a canned beverage from Aplos. Chili margarita, non-alcoholic, infused with adaptogens. So this is going to be definitely down those like herbaceous kind of that whole idea. So it's going to be that, but this is really nice just by itself. This is going to give you that nice vibe for the spring. I mean, if you like margaritas, period.
I mean, I was never picky.
I feel you. And what's the favorite verdict on this one for a margarita? Surprising.
It's surprising. It
Do you like margaritas?
reminds me of something else.
Do you like margaritas? Do you like tequila? Okay. Let me give you a try.
It gives me a different vibe. Not necessarily margarita, but this is damn good.
It's going to be that nice.
Very good.
How do you like it?
I like it. You know, I wouldn't call it like a whiskey taste.
No.
I would like it just for what it was.
But it's going to be a nice thing. And the thing is, for me, I love having something that's different, but you don't want a Perrier. You don't want you want something that's going to be nice and fun to celebrate it with. Now, don't get me wrong. As opposed to you, I may or not be California sober. And if you know, you know.
Oh, this is good.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
It's a really nice thing. Yeah. I've got all sorts of things. The like an Amaro Spritz would be for the Cali Spritz here that I've got. I've got all sorts of good things for you to try here, but all of these are available for you. Plus, and what Tawala, if you're tuning in on Instagram Live and checking us out at Nick Pagliochini,
cheers.
The gentlemen are cheersing you right now. But you can also go to your supermarket because a lot of times they have it. So check out Dry Kit online. You can get all the details at Nick Pagliochini or This Week with Nick on Instagram at the link in bio that has all the details for you. But you can also go to your local neighborhood supermarket because I went to Whole Foods, which is right across the street from the studio here, and they have Bitters and Soda, which is the Hella brand that is right in front of Tawala. And they had two options available for you. So that's where I picked up charcuterie here. Shout out to Mary, who was in the cheese section at Whole Foods, who was incredibly helpful. But yeah, so that's where
now,
it is.
Is there a combination here that could do like a whiskey sour or a
there is
Long
not in
Island
studio, but yes. No,
so
but
you can.
You can. So
Okay,
go check out Elizabeth. Go hit up Elizabeth and Jeff over at Dry Kit. You can find them online. And the other thing too is they have a gifting catalog. If you're looking for that last minute corporate gift and you may have somebody in your life who is sober and you're looking for something that's fun and festive, that's a great opportunity for you as well. They have an online store. So this is something that is not just them. So definitely check them out because I love them and they're a small business and we love supporting small businesses here on Later with Mo Kelly and on KFI. But
not
also
expensive either.
They're not.
Wow.
It really, and I think that's the thing too, because it was when it first came out, something that may not have been mostly approachable. Now it is definitely something that is approachable. And so this is something, and the thing that they focus on, if you're going to spend the money and it's not octane, meaning that it is not alcoholic, they want it to taste good. They want you to enjoy it. Yes, absolutely.
Because we got to.
Yeah, we got a good break. I get it.
What is the sugar content? What are we talking about? Because
we're talking low calorie, low sugar. Mm-hmm. We're talking things that are not going to affect you. So it already is going to, while it is not high octane anyway, it is already going to not affect you in other ways. So if you're looking to watch your waistline, your sugar content, your carb content, it's already going to help you out there.
Nick Pagliochini joins us in studio. It's not this weekend, but this week with Nick as he tells us what's going on.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're also Instagram live at Nick Pagliochini on Instagram. And Nick has not only non-alcoholic beverages that he's sharing with us, but a full charcuterie board. He's probably going to bring in his vision board. He's going to have all sorts of
so many things.
What else you got for us, Nick?
Okay, so the thing that I want to talk about, not to take us down, because we're having an amazing time and everybody has had such good things. And again, huge thank you to Dry Kit and Elizabeth and Jeff over at Dry Kit in Mar Vista and at that whole thing. So this is delicious, and thank you again, Nick Pagliochini on Instagram. If you want to check out all the fun and excitement and the link in bio at Nick Pagliochini and This Week on Nick with Nick. But we're in the middle of a time period that's really challenging for a lot of people. And I know that we have KFI to turn to. You have Later with Mo Kelly. You have all the shows here. But it's a really hard time for a lot of folks. And so we really want to try to focus on places for you to be able to donate your time and get you out and active. Because, and then I'm going to give you this because it sounds a little silly, but it's very important, because you have what is called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And I know that people laugh, but this is what has always been that time of the year when it is 4:30 in the afternoon, and that is when the sun goes down. So
Right.
So seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that occurs during this time of year. So, we want you to have an opportunity to be able to, reach out if you've got issues, if there's something going down, but also volunteer your time. So I think that's what it is. So if you need an easy way to reach out and find ways to, find somebody, it's as easy as a text message. So if you're looking for a place to reach out to, you can always text HOME, HOME, to 741-741, which is a crisis text line, and that's super easy, and keep it real chill and mellow and private. But if you're looking for a place to donate your time, more so to get you out and about and active during this time of year and donate your time, the LA Animal Services has opportunities for you to get out and about. If you tune into Wake Up Call here with Amy King, you regularly hear her talking about Pasadena, Humane Society. That's an opportunity for you to get out and volunteer your time and really donate to yourself. Also, the Los Angeles Mission, which is in Skid Row, they always need help. And it's funny because you think, well, I don't necessarily want to go to Skid Row. I don't want to go to downtown LA. That is not my shtick. There's places you can call. And this is the thing. I work with Project Angel Food here in Los Angeles and have for a good number of years. I literally call shut-ins. That's what I do. And I spend about 15 to 20 minutes of my time a couple of times a month and just call and check in on people. That's it. It's super simple. Did it long before the pandemic. And it was an opportunity for me to just like check in and see how people were doing. And that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, but where did you start? How did you know where to start?
That's a great question, Mo. I started Googling, as silly as that sounds. Right, I literally went to the internet and went to, just started asking around. I also work with both the Gay and Lesbian Center in Long Beach and here in Los Angeles. That's a big part of it. Also, many, many years ago, worked with the Catholic Church where I grew up, and worked with the St. Vincent de Paul Society, and worked with the Knights of Columbus with my dad. And so a lot of different organizations that a lot of listeners here with KFI are probably very familiar with. Ask. And I think that's the thing. It's always challenging to ask for help for yourself. And that's what I've learned through the years is by asking to help others, I have oftentimes helped myself.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that we don't think about is we get a lot of our own help by asking to help others. And I think that's the easiest thing.
That's what I love about radio, if only because we always talk about this, the intimacy of radio. And you get to know more about people through radio than you would any other medium. Nick, you've been very transparent. Twala, you've been very transparent. Mark Ronner, not so much. But for the most part, we try to be very transparent, right, that we are fallible, indeed, oftentimes frail individuals, and sometimes, and I understand why people during this time of year may not really connect with it, but just know that there's someone who is going through the same thing as you right now.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing. We here at KFI appreciate you tuning in to us each and every day. We really appreciate you spending your time and energy and effort listening to us. We know that you've got a lot of opportunities for riding in your car or whatever. And we know there are many other places you could turn. So we really, really appreciate you tuning in and spending that time with us because we know how important time is and how valuable that time is. And so, we're there for you. And, it's a family. It's a team.
Nick, you are an invaluable voice and source for not only information, but for connection. I mean, you're very busy, but when are we going to hear from you again? When are we going to see you again?
Great question. I will definitely be making myself known here with Later with Mo Kelly and keeping you up to date with what's up with Nick. Hopefully I will be hanging out here. It looks like on Tuesday nights for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I don't know where I will resurface. You will know that I am no longer on the airwaves here with iHeartRadio, and that is something that I am. Well, you'll have to keep an ear and an eye out to see where I may resurface in the Southland. But I am definitely here, and I am only a DM away on social media on Nick Pagliochini and This Weekend with Nick. I also have some possibilities of SoCal Underserved if some of you have already slid into my DMs and found out that there is a new social media channel that has surfaced. Some of you are quite the sleuths, and it's good to see that you are keeping an eye out. So SoCal Underserved is a possible new project that is on the horizon coming up. Also, you can always email me. You can find my YouTube channel, which is In Conversation with Nick Pagliochini, and find a deeper dive into a lot of the different people behind the stories behind those things that I've shared with you throughout the last 2 years and even before that here on Later with Mo Kelly for This Weekend with Nick Pagliochini. And yeah, so I'll be around. You call on me, what is it? Call on me, I will be there.
I thought you were going to do it like Michael Jackson. I'll be there.
My falsetto was not there, brother. I will lean on you for that.
Well, the award-winning Nick Pagliochini, you're always welcome here, and you'll always have a home here. It's Later with Mo Kelly and Nick Pagliochini, and Tawala Sharp, and Stefan, and you too, Mark Ronner.
Thanks.
Does it really have to include Mark?
I mean, the Ronniverse is a thing.
The Ronniverse is the thing.
He doesn't do much with it.
Ronniverse. He's got his own universe.
He
now.
does have his own universe. Like, it's pretty wild. I don't know where we fall in the Ronniverse, but we know where Ronniverse falls in Later with Mo Kelly.
Would you look at the time.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Just want to give you a quick update on the Franklin fire. It has burned 2,862 acres. It still remains at 0% containment. It continues to impact Malibu, Topanga Canyon, and surrounding communities. It is still being actively monitored, and there are more than 1,500 firefighters and 13 federal, state, and local agencies involved. And also the LA County Board of Supervisors has ratified their local emergency declaration earlier this afternoon. So we are continuing to monitor the Franklin fire, and we'll have updates later on throughout the night with Mark Ronner in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. And probably everyone listening right now uses the text messaging as a form of communication. Doesn't matter. I think just about everyone has received a text, has sent a text, utilized text messaging, probably in a number of ways, not only to communicate, but as two-factor authentication, so you can get into your favorite email or app to confirm that you are you. Texting is pretty important. But not everyone out there knows the right etiquette. Not everyone knows how you're supposed to do it. And I came across this article, interestingly enough, in the Wall Street Journal. And according to the Wall Street Journal article, it says the two most dreaded words in a text conversation are usually at the very beginning. And it's usually by someone who is trying to be intentionally, I'll say vague. Have you ever received a text which just says, call me? I have.
Oh, all the time.
And it annoys me to no end.
No, absolutely. I get it so regularly. It's wild.
Yeah, I know you want me to call you, but the issue is, why am I calling you? Is it urgent? Is it urgent for me to call you, or is it just you want me to stop what I'm doing and attend to you? Now, here are my rules. Here are my expectations, just in case you haven't heard them. If you text me, my expectation is if you need something from me, you have to be explicit in what you need. It's not enough to say, call me. You have to say, call me or please call me because we need to talk about the agenda for the meeting, or something happened at the office, too long for text, but we got to talk about it immediately. You can't be lazy with me, because if you just say call me, or, hit me back, as a lot of my friends will say, or something else which is very, very non-specific, I'm not going to respond. I have a friend who just says, Mo. That's all he says. Like I'm supposed to say, what? Or, yeah, I'm here. Almost asking, are you available? Well, no, I'm never available until I'm available. And it's incumbent upon you to tell me exactly what you need. Like, for example, Nick Pagliochini is still in the studio. If he were to say, hey, Mo, call me back. And I'm thinking like, well, Nick, if I call you back and you need something from me, if you tell me now, I can have it when we actually get on the phone. Because if you don't tell me, it could have been like, hey, Mo, what was that thing that you were talking about that was on Amazon that you had in the studio? You said you're going to send me the link. Well, if you would have told me that when you put that in the text, I could have just sent you that and been done with it.
Right, exactly. No, I think that, and it's funny because that's the context in this immediate information world that is so helpful, and being able to get that immediacy, I don't understand. It's like, and especially, and it just to kind of it related or not, we're in this world where you send a text message before you make a phone call now.
Absolutely. Don't call me. I don't want to talk to you.
Exactly. And that's the same concept here. If I'm going to call, I'm going to send you a text message. I'm going to call you about this.
Yes.
So that you are prepared with the answers I need so that we can get through what we need to get through.
Right. Because when you text someone, the upside to a text is it can politely interrupt anyone at any time. People
Exactly.
have been texting me throughout this show.
Right.
And I can respond to my wife. I can respond to another family member or a coworker, and I can give them information. I can answer their question and still keep my world moving. But the moment I have to stop to call you, that means I have to drop what I'm doing or wait to a more opportune time. And there's not going to be a more opportune time because you didn't respect my time to tell me what the hell it was about. So I'm not going to call you at all.
Right.
If it's important, you would have let me know.
Exactly. Which is so funny to think because we're both from the generation where we didn't have the immediacy.
No.
I mean, we came from the pager generation.
The pager generation, before that answer machine generation,
Exactly.
where you may not even get the message until hours later.
Exactly. And so we had no problem. But now it's like, I need to know exactly what is going to be needed of me because I have so many other obligations. I have so many other things that are going on. So no, I'm right there with you.
I try to be respectful of other people's time, and I can be kind of curt and use a lot of shorthand. But I may text Nick Pagliochini, for example, in the morning, and I have to remind myself it's morning, say good morning, acknowledge that you're beginning a conversation other than, hey, Nick, what time are you going to be at the studio tonight?
Which, no, you're right, because I like you am the same, and half the time I will do it out of order. I will do exactly what you just described, and then at the end I'll say, oh good morning. We've done that to each other many times where it's the same thing because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my 9 bullet points down. Oh, now I need to say, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, by the way, good morning. How's it going? What you doing?
The whole point of this is there is an etiquette to this, and there is a way that you can more efficiently communicate with someone and get what you want. If you're texting someone and you're making a request of someone, going back to the story where it says you get the text that says, call me, a word to the wise. Let the person know, at least subject matter, parameter, topic for discussion that you need them to call you for. Because it might be an emergency, or it might be a total waste of time because you want to talk about a movie that you saw last night. I'm sorry, I'm right in the middle of a show. It's not going to be something that's on my to-do list.
Right.
But if you let me know that, then say, okay, I'll hit you when I get in the car. But if you just say, call me, I'm not calling you just because you didn't respect my time and you didn't think enough to at least give me the information, because there's nothing worse. And it's happened before. Someone will say, call me.
Sure.
And I call them, and then they're asking for something that I got to get off the phone and go find or go do. And so either text them later or call them back later, when I could have just given them that information and not talked on the phone, because I would much rather not talk on the phone. There are some conversations that you actually have to have a phone conversation, but those are few and far between.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct on that, because, and it's usually something very important or very timely or something that has, like it's kind of like, hey, Stefan, can you pull the audio on this thing and this da-da-da-da-da-da? Like, I need to get this done because I need it for this show that's coming up, or I need to send it to, whatever.
That's right. I just got my STD results back from the doctor. We need to talk.
Wow. Mo, what you doing
specific.
later? I was like, oddly specific. Well, there was that time this weekend.
Right,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
That probably requires a phone conversation.
Indeed.
Because you don't want to say, call me back. I got the test results.
It is. No, you're right.
Yeah.
No. And that's definitely something you do not want to find out by phone.
You just want to call that person directly.
Correct. Yeah.
Are you sitting down?
Yes.
you free? Can you talk for a minute?
Yes.
There are these new rules which are kind of being written and they're unwritten every single day. I'll give you another one. Talking about phones. When you call someone, let's say you're in the car and there's someone else in the car with you, and you obviously, that person is on speakerphone that you're talking to, I think it is a must. It is a requirement to let that person know you're on speakerphone.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a big thing. And I don't care, especially what you just described there. I have my nieces with me a lot. And so it's always, even just to that specific notion of I've got my nieces in the background or you're on speakerphone or whatever the situation is. It does not matter, just purely out of respect.
Not only that, when you say you got your nieces in the car, that added information is also important because just because you tell me we're on speakerphone, it doesn't mean that I'm going to drop fewer F-bombs.
No, you're right.
Because I'm thinking, well, there's
Lord knows
adult.
I'm not that uncle.
Right. But all I'm saying is,
my sister. No. Right.
I remember there was one time, and I was going to play a joke on Shannon Farron, and she called me.
Yeah.
When I was doing my Saturday show one night. And I said, well, let me just go ahead and put her on speaker and on the air and see what happens. She dropped F-bombs 3 words in. And I said, that'll teach me.
Mm-hmm.
You better let a person
Speaking
know.
about mother fathers,
right.
Yes.
You better let people know. It's unfair to the caller, and it might be also unfair to the person who's in the car with you. Mm-hmm. They may hear something that they didn't want to hear.
No, that's true.
But there are some rules here. And I would expect people, if you're actually going to have a positive communication relationship with family members or colleagues, these are things you just got to know. You got to know. And I have family members to this day who will violate all these rules. And they'll just say, Mo, that's the text. Expecting me to engage.
Yeah, no.
I refuse. I don't care if somebody's dying. I am not responding to that until you tell me, Mo, somebody's dying. Oh, okay. That means 911. Now I got to respond.
That's good. Don't take the bait. I'm glad. Good man.
No, I refuse. Did you get my text? No, I didn't see it. Sorry. If you want to play dumb, I will play dumb.
Right.
Because there's no reason for me to play smart with that. Mark does it to me all the time. I don't want to call him out, but it was time.
Your gratitude is so anemic right now. I don't think people understand the gift I give to you of nothingness.
No, you do text, but you will be very specific and complete. If you're going to text me, especially if it's like late at night and you're watching something or I'm watching something, it's very clear. It's not just like, hey, are you up? Can we,
hey, you up?
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. What kind of text messages are you two sending? I know the hours we keep, but I'm just saying.
Look, I get those texts and they are innocent enough. It's just that people don't think these things through and they expect a response. You will not get a response. I've done it to my mother. True story. And she's one of the ones who'll say, call me. No, I refuse, mommy.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Before we get out of here, I enjoy listening to Mark Ronner. I tease him all the time, but he usually has some great recommendations. And I will take up his recommendations, and sometimes he will take me up on mine. And we don't necessarily like the exact same things. He likes to show Kung Fu. I think it's garbage.
I forgive you for your ignorance.
It's okay.
It's what Kwai Chang Caine would do, too.
Yes, he would. But, he's not real, and neither is your... Never mind. My point is, sometimes you come up with some really good stuff, and I heard that you started watching Cross on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I did. And it was much better than I figured because we've seen Alex Cross in several iterations. And yeah, you can like any of them to whatever degree that you do. This might be my favorite one.
If I can say anything that's really positive about this streaming moment, it is there are a lot of good TV shows out there, more so than I think than ever before, that I'm willing to spend time with. I binged Cross, I think in maybe 2 days or so. It's just one season so far, but it's a season long story arc, and it's more horror story, I would say, than detective, procedural. It's I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen it, but it's more reminiscent to me of Seven or Silence of the Lambs than a traditional detective TV show. And that really drew me in. There are real stakes. Every character is in danger, I would say, every single one. And I like those shows because not only is everyone expendable, you know that each episode matters. And I can say this, you haven't gotten as far yet, Mark. Every episode matters, and there's no filler or waste.
I will. I'm obsessed with that French show, The Bureau, which the agency is completely a remake of right now. But Alex, the Cross show, I find it extra interesting. I like the Morgan Freeman Cross, but this younger version of him is entertaining to me because they really get into some uncomfortable conversations that are not sanitized for your protection.
Not at all. It's topical, it's timely, and they're talking about issues which are relevant today. It's not just some detective in some city at some time in history. No, it's very much set in today.
Yeah, they have some nerve, the territory they get into. I do appreciate the detective horror story thing, but we've had that since Manhunter came out in 1986.
True.
That to me isn't quite as new anymore, but I always like that kind of stuff. That's crack to me, just like a spy show would be. But this to me is in the writing and just they get right up in each other's face and say things that you don't figure you would hear a mainstream television character say. And they don't, they don't avoid any racial topics at all. It's all just put right out there.
There are so many shows that I'm watching on streaming more than ever before. I've almost given up completely on broadcast television because broadcast television will never measure up. Not in terms of the violence, the language, the subject matter. It's just not enough anymore. I still have one or two procedurals that I'll watch, like Law and Order SVU and Chicago PD. But outside of that, there's nothing on broadcast TV which is going to appeal to me. I mean, I'm watching Linus. I'm watching Lawman. I just finished up Cross. I'm watching Day of the Jackal. There's so many things that I can watch on a given night which have all the gore, the violence, the adult themes, even the nudity at times. Broadcast TV just can't keep up.
Well, it's always been pablum. I mean, it's been enjoyable pablum sometimes. But that's why when something comes along like Evil, which was on CBS, you got to support that because something that good and that edgy is a rare thing. And Evil was also smart and funny in addition to being kind of unsettling.
But they also moved it to streaming, I think, in their last season for that reason.
They did, and boy, did they go to town on that.
Yes, they did.
They went to town in terms of language and situations and stuff that you just couldn't show on network TV. Like, okay, if they're going to put us at the other table over here, let's cut loose.
Have you guys checked out James Gunn's Creature Commandos yet?
Yes.
I have not.
Oh, you got to.
Okay.
You got to.
It sounds like you liked it more than I did.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I did. I loved it. I loved because I'm familiar with the characters and I love how they're building this. They're not trying to rush into the story. They're not shy about anything that the Creature Commandos are doing, even though it's an animated series. It is a very adult animated series. Take your kids outside. There is bucket nakedness in Creature Commandos.
Well, it's cartoon nakedness. Set it up for people, though, Tuala.
Creature Commandos is essentially a version of the Suicide Squad that is made up of monsters. Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Bride, along with some other characters that you have seen in the Suicide Squad, like Weasel makes a return. It stars Frank Grillo, who's a fantastic actor. I love Frank Grillo. And the beauty of Creature Commandos, which is James Gunn and Peter Safran's first release from their iteration of the DC universe, every character in this series will appear in live action form in the future movies and television series as well. David Harbour plays Frankenstein. It is great. It is great because I love what's happening so far. When I walked in, I said to myself, this had better be good, dumb, stupid fun with foul language, violence, nudity, all that. I said, oh, thank you. Got it. First episodes.
I do want to see a live version of Dr. Phosphorus.
Yes.
Well, is it on Max?
It's on Max.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Max.
So there's so much good stuff out there. All right. Tomorrow, we'll have that nice exercise lady join us, Claudine Cooper. We'll have the viral load, and we'll hopefully have you. KFI AM 640, we are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Untangling the mess until it makes sense.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.